Selenium class 1 overview of test automation. This is just introduction chapter. Actually, it is not related to Selenium, just basics. Overview of test automation. See, in this chapter, we are going to discuss 5 topics. First topic, drawbacks of manual testing. Drawbacks of manual testing. Next, second topic, advantages of test automation. Advantages of test automation, or you can say automated testing. Next, disadvantages of test automation. Next, types of test tools. Types of test tools, general topic. Next, last one. See, our Selenium is mainly used for functional and regression testing. So we need to familiar with functional testing. See, overview of functional testing. Overview of functional testing. Okay, this is the chapter index. See, first I am taking drawbacks of manual testing. Drawbacks of manual testing. Just a minute. Drawbacks of manual testing. See, before going to discuss drawbacks of manual testing, first I will explain manual and automated test processes. See, software testing can be done in 2 ways. One is manual testing, another is test automation or automated testing. See, software testing can be done in 2 ways. One is manual testing. Another is test automation. Or you can say automated testing. Okay. Supriya, can you tell me what is manual testing? First I am taking manual testing. Just definition. What is manual testing?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yeah, we do manual testing to find the defects in order to know whether the program is correct or
you are
not.
telling testing concept, but I am asking manual testing. See, simple. Testing computer software manually without using any automation tool, isn't it? Any queries, Supriya?
No, sir.
Testing computer software. Nowadays, our testing is not only restricted to computer software, mobile software also. See, mobile testing also there. Mobile device, see, software on mobile devices. Next, software on computers. See, testing computer software, mobile software, but computer software is primary. Mobile software manually without using any automation tool. automation tool. See, this is test tool. Test tool also software. See, simple. Here, just what are the important tasks in manual testing? See, important tasks in manual testing. Important tasks in manual testing. See, first, testers derive test scenarios from, see, I'm explaining in brief. Testers derive test scenarios. Testers derive test scenarios from requirements. If you have use cases, user stories from use cases, depends on available documentation. Next, document test cases, document test cases. Test cases and collect test data, input data for executing the test case. Input data for executing the test case. See, deriving test scenarios, documenting test cases, and collecting test data. This is all these comes under test design. See this line, test design. Next, test execution. Testers execute. Testers execute test cases. Testers execute test cases. If they find any deviations from expected, then report defects. See, if they find any deviations from expected, then report defects. Report defects. See, this is the manual test process in simple manner. Okay, now Ritesh, important tasks in manual testing.
Yes, sir.
See, in another short form, just important tasks in software testing, test design and test execution. While execution, we report defects. Okay. Next, automated testing. Important tasks in test automation or automated testing. Automated testing. Okay, before that, what is automated testing? Can you tell me, Mrinal, what is test automation or automation testing? Automated testing?
Yes, automation testing is converting the manual test cases into the automated test scripts.
Converting is not mandatory. You can derive directly.
Right. Yes.
Converting is converting manual test cases is best practice, but not mandatory. Okay.
Okay.
Test. Yes. See, simple. Testing computer software or mobile software using any software tool. Okay, na?
Okay.
See, testing computer software primary. Nowadays, mobile applications also increasing. Computer software, mobile software, using any software tool also software tool like UFT, Unified Functional Testing, or Selenium, or RFT, Rational Functional Tester from IBM, or Silk Test from Micro Focus, etc. See, here what are the important tasks in test automation or automated testing? Can you tell me, Dilpreet, important tasks in test automation or automated testing?
We'll have to select that which all test cases do we need to automate, and then we'll have to go with automation of those test cases.
Okay. In simple manner, I will explain. Say, selecting test cases, so many topics are there. Just in brief, Madhavi, not Madhavi, can you hear
I'm here,
me?
sir.
Can you hear me, Madhavi?
Hello? Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I joined through phone, so.
Okay. Actually, system integrated voice is enough. Okay, you try at least by tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Testers generate, see, in automation also, testers contribution important. Tool won't do all tasks its own. Testers only generate. Testers generate tests, or you can say test scripts. Testers generate tests or test scripts using test tools, IDE features, IDE, integrated development environment. See, every tool provides IDE. For example, UFT, RFT, they provide IDE, but our Selenium WebDriver doesn't provide any IDE, only programming interface. For each and everything, we need to write the code in Selenium WebDriver. Another tool in Selenium suite, Selenium IDE is there. It provides IDE. Okay. Most of the tools provides IDE, menus items. For example, IDE features recording, checkpoints, are some of the examples of IDE features. But our Selenium WebDriver, primary tool of Selenium suite, doesn't provide any IDE, only programming interface. Okay, that we will discuss later. Using test tools IDE features and programming features. For example, flow control statements, conditional statements, loop statements, functions, etc. Programming features. Any supported programming features. For example, if we use UFT means Unified Functional Testing, formerly QTP. If it is UFT supports VB script for applying programming logic to our test cases. If it is Selenium supports nearly 6 programming languages: Java, Perl, Python, Ruby, etc. Generally, most of the Selenium testers use Java. If we use Java, you can use Java programming features in Selenium test cases. Okay. Say, testers generate tests using tool features and program features. Okay. For test design, testers' contribution is mandatory. Testers only prepare tests. Okay. For test execution, testers interaction optional. See, test tool can execute tests. Here single test or series of tests. That concept is test batches. Test batch means batch testing. Batch testing means executing series of tests. See, single test or test batch without user interaction. Here user means tester. Without user interaction. See, for test design, user interaction is mandatory. For test execution, user interaction optional. See, without user interaction. And provide test results. Okay. Next, tester's responsibility. Testers analyze test results and send defect reports if they find any deviations from requirements. See, testers analyze test results. Next, and send and report defects if they find any mismatches, if they find any deviations from expected. Say we derive expected from results, requirements. We derive each and every test case expected result from requirements. See, this is the test automation process in simple manner. Okay, now Madhavi, test automation process?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just going to come to mainstream drawbacks. Just a minute. Drawbacks of manual testing. Drawbacks of manual testing. Okay. Just can you tell me, Mamata, what are the important tasks in manual testing?
Sir, it takes so much time.
Okay. I'm not asking drawbacks. What are the already completed topics? What are the important tasks in manual testing?
Okay. And using the requirements, we can generate the test cases, design the test cases. So that is the one important thing we can do by using manual.
Say deriving test scenarios from requirements, documenting test cases, and collect test data. All these comes under test design. Next, testers execute test cases and report defects if they find any deviations from expected. Okay, na? Next, Saloni, what are the important tasks in automated testing or test automation?
Like testers generate the test scripts.
Testers generates test scripts. Good, continue.
And testing tool, like they execute the test.
Just a minute. How they design tests? testers create test scripts using test tool IDE features and programming features. Next, test tool execute tests, single test or series of tests without human user interaction, means tester interaction. User interaction sometimes may be there, but not mandatory. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Now come to Supriya. All of you put mute. Supriya, drawbacks of manual testing. Can you tell me one or two drawbacks of manual testing?
Yes, sir. It will take a lot of resources and time, and it's only limited to short-term projects.
Okay, good.
Yep, thank you, sir.
You explained one point. Manual testing, say, manual testing requires more time. Why? Testers only execute all possible test cases one by one. See, it takes time. If it is test tool can execute tests quickly. Why? Tool is software. It can execute quickly. But human users can't execute tests quickly. Testers execute test cases one by one. It takes some time. See, manual testing requires more time or more resources. Suppose if you want to reduce the time, you have to increase the resources, human resources and environmental resources. Suppose 4 testers using 4 missions conducting testing. It takes 6 months. If you want to reduce the time to 4 months, you need to increase the testers, means human resources, and missions, environmental resources. Suppose 6 testers, 4 months, like that. See, more resources. Here resources, human and environmental resources. Human resources and environmental resources. Manual testing requires more time or more resources. Next, sometimes both. Time and resources. Okay. Anyhow, it takes time. Manual testing takes time. Next, Mrinal, any other points? Drawbacks of contribute?
Like, if we have to go with the big amount of data, it is very impractical to go with the manual testing. It will take more time.
Big amount of data. Where we use big amount of data?
Like if we have to check one functionality with different kinds of data.
Yes. That is data-driven testing. Testing the same functionality with multiple sets of test data. Okay. Right. Okay, that point also good. Next, Dilpreet. Okay, Mrinal. Dilpreet.
Yes, accurate manual testing, human error can creep in as compared to automation testing.
Less accuracy. Say, human users may make mistakes in terms of, for example, in terms of complex calculations, human users may make mistakes. But if it is test automation, tool is software. If you provide correct logic, tool can execute tests correctly. Okay, human users may make mistakes. So, in manual testing, less accuracy. Next, Ritesh.
Yes, sir. So drawbacks of manual testing.
Yes.
It's over the time the job will become a tedious,
okay.
And that increases the chances of making mistakes.
Okay, that one already covered. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Try to increase the clarity at least by next time. Saloni, your name is Saloni. Pronunciation is correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Tell me 1 or 2 points regarding this drawbacks of manual testing.
Like if we have to compare the large amount of data in manual testing.
It is impractical. Yes.
Yeah.
See. Okay, Saloni, good. Comparing large amount of data is impractical. Comparing large amount of data is impractical. Suppose as part of testing, if you want to compare two different databases, or one database data with Excel file data. Suppose 10,000 records available in a database, and in Excel file some 10,000 records available. We want to compare these two resources. Here resource means test. That one data file is resource, data file. Suppose comparing two resources, two databases, or one database and another is Excel file, is impractical. Why? Suppose if you want to check 10,000 record, it takes a lot of time, and you cannot maintain correctness also. If it is tool can compare quickly. If it is 1,000 records or 10,000 records, tool can compare quickly. You can use programming logic. Tool can compare quickly and provide accurate result. But if it is manual testing, comparing large amount of data is impractical. Next, Supriya. Anything else, Supriya?
No idea, sir.
Okay, cool. No issue. Madhavi. Written to Madhavi.
Yes, sir. Manual testing, if we need any like reusable test cases, then you have to run it again, and whenever the environment changes, you have to create new data, and that will be very tedious.
Okay. Rerun takes time, huh?
Right. And if there is any new functionality introduced, you have to do a regression testing.
Yes,
then
regression
if you have
testing.
automation.
See, for every release, say I'm explaining in brief, for every release, we must rerun the same set of tests, set of tests. For example, sanity tests, next regression tests. Example, which can be tiresome. And time-taking process also. Okay, Madhavi's point. Say we need to execute tests on different versions of software. For every release, we must rerun same tests, not all tests, some tests, same set of tests again and again. That takes more time and tediness. Next, Mamata. Any other Mamata?
Yeah, and performance testing is not practical in manual testing.
Good. Say all types of testing is not possible. For example, performance testing is impractical in manual testing. Why? Organizing, suppose we want to test 10,000 users load, 10,000 users, 10,000 concurrent users load. Organizing 10,000 testers and 10,000 machines, impractical. If it is test automation, we can create 10,000 virtual users using 3 or 4 machines. We can apply 10,000 users load. That is simple. But in manual testing, performance testing is impractical. See, performance testing is impractical. Functional testing possible. Performance testing is impractical. Performance testing is impractical. Why? Organizing thousands of users and machines is difficult and impractical. Next, Mrinal. Already you told now. What is your point? Executing same tests again and again on same version.
Right.
Executing same tests again and again or multiple times again and again is time-taking process. As well as tedious. Okay, put mute. Say, observe Madhavi, 4th point, 6th point. Rerun on different versions of software is 4th point. Same tests, sometimes some same tests. For example, sanity tests on build 1, build 2, build 1 smoke testing. Suppose sanity tests on build 3, build 4, build 5, build 6. Tests same, but versions of software different. Next, 6th point. Same version of the software, same tests, but multiple times. This is repeating. Observe, 4th point. Reusable. Reusing our tests on different versions of software. Next, 6th one, repeating tests on same version of software. Repeating. Okay. Anyhow, in the next topic, we will discuss more. Just remember here 2 things. 4th topic related to reusable. 6th topic related to repeatable. Both are different. Executing same test again and again on same version of software. When we execute same tests again and again, see, sometimes we execute tests multiple times using multiple sets of test data. Suppose login functionality is there. Checking login functionality using multiple user IDs and passwords. That term is data-driven testing. Actually, data-driven testing is not in manual testing. That is test automation terminology. Data-driven testing. What is data-driven testing? Testing the same functionality using multiple sets of test data. If it is manual testing, for every test iteration means cycle of execution. Suppose one test case is there. If you execute the same test case 10 times, 10 iterations, 10 results, 10 iterations. Say, if you execute any functionality 10 times, that time 10 iterations. For every iteration in manual testing, for every test iteration, user means tester interaction is mandatory. But in test automation, user interaction not required. If we use any test data file, connect test data file, then tool can execute same functionality with multiple sets of test data continuously. Okay, getting this point, Ritesh, executing same tests again and again.
Yes, sir.
The term is called data-driven testing. Executing the same functionality or same tests using multiple sets of test data. First of all, why data-driven testing? Suppose for one input, my application is responding fine. Suppose login functionality is there. I entered valid username and password. It is working fine. Then why we need to test with multiple sets of test data? Ritesh, getting my point? Why data-driven testing?
Sir, it depends on the data field. If the password is accepting like different kind of characters, then you should try.
Say, increase the clarity and reduce the complexity. Try to provide clarity description. Say, why data-driven testing? Say, for one input, my application is responding fine. Why we need to test with multiple inputs? See, the primary purpose of data-driven testing is positive and negative testing. Positive and negative testing. See, our application is responding fine for valid inputs. What about handling of invalid inputs? For positive and negative testing, we conduct data-driven testing. And secondary purpose of data-driven testing is reliability testing, checking the reliability of the system. System means application under test. Suppose you can find in internet also. Suppose if you perform same operation again and again, some applications may hang. Hanging application is not reliable application. It has to respond every time. Say, primary purpose of data-driven testing is positive and negative testing. Secondary purpose, reliability testing, checking the reliability of the system. Okay, now Ritesh, any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyhow, repeating tests, time-taking process in manual testing. Next, Supriya, contribute Supriya.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. We discussed 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Contribute. If you don't know, no issue. Madhavi, you continue, Madhavi.
I'm still thinking, sir.
Okay, cool. Say, batch testing concept is there. Batch testing. What is batch testing? Executing series of tests. Batch testing is possible in manual testing. Batch testing is possible, but for each test execution, human user interaction is mandatory. For each test case execution, user means tester, user interaction is mandatory. User interaction is mandatory. If it is automated testing or test automation, user interaction optional, you can create test batches. Without human user interaction, tool can execute series of tests continuously. This is one. Next, Dilpreet.
Yes,
Dilpreet.
Yes, sir.
Okay, think. If you don't know, no issue. I will explain. Okay, say one more important thing. Manual test case scope is very less. See, manual test case scope. Manual test case scope is very less. I will explain this concept. Very less. Next, automated test scope is more. Observe. Manual test case scope is very less. Why? Human user can concentrate on one or two verification points only at a time. Human user at a time can concentrate on one or two verification points only. Can't concentrate on multiple verification points, 20, 30 verification points. Human user can concentrate on one or two verification points only at a time. Suppose if it is automation, test tool is software. If we use programming logic, tool can concentrate on multiple verification points in a test. You can insert 10, 20, 30 verification points in a test. In single test, you can insert. In single automated test, you can insert 10, 20, 30, 40 verification points. Tool can concentrate. Why? Tool is software. It can concentrate. But in manual testing, test case scope is very limited. Why? Human user cannot concentrate on multiple verification points at a time. Suppose for one project, 1000 test cases required. Example, suppose for one project, 1000 test cases, manual test cases are required. If it is automated testing, you can cover these 1000 test cases with 4 or 500 automated test cases. Getting this point, Madhavi?
Yes, sir.
Suppose in manual testing 100 test cases. 100 automated test cases not required. Why? Automated test scope is high. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Ritesh, did you understand this concept? Manual test case scope is very less when it compares to automated test. Why? What is the reason?
It can perform multiple validation.
Not it can. User cannot concentrate on multiple verification points while execution.
Yes, and
suppose if you write one test case used multiple verifications, you cannot concentrate these multiple verifications during execution, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If it is automated testing, test tool is software. It can concentrate on multiple verification points. Suppose you can insert 10, 20, 30 conditional statements, loop statements. It can concentrate. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Next, one more thing. processing change requests, processing change requests during software maintenance, during software maintenance takes more time, takes more time. Why? For each and every test execution, human user interaction is mandatory. See, maintenance testing. In maintenance testing, automation is flexible than manual testing. Sometimes manual testing also required, but automation is useful. Why? You can process change requests quickly. And one more thing, in IT industry, nearly 40 to 45%, so 40 to 45% only new projects. 50 to 55% projects are maintenance projects. So you need to familiar with maintenance also. See, these are the important drawbacks of manual testing. Okay, now Dilpreet, shall we move to next topic or any queries in this topic? Drawbacks of manual testing?
No queries. It's okay.
Mamata, shall we move to next topic, Mamata?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. See, next topic. Advantages of, before moving to next topic, we discussed drawbacks of manual testing. Okay, apart from that, tell me some advantages of manual testing. See, manual testing having some advantages also. Advantage of, see, this is just extension for that topic. Extension. Advantage of manual testing, Saloni. See, so many drawbacks are there for manual testing, but some advantages also there.
Yeah, we don't use any programming language
good.
in manual testing.
Good. No programming knowledge. No programming knowledge is required. If it is automation, programming knowledge mandatory. Next, Supriya.
Yes, sir. Yeah, compared to automation, manual testing takes less cost.
Cost, that is not fact. See, some open source tools also available in the industry now. Suppose if it is Selenium, you no need to purchase license. And yes, one more thing, if we use automation in proper way, definitely you can reduce the time and resources now.
Yes, sir.
So, some people saying automation is expensive, manual testing is inexpensive. No, that is not correct. See, if we use automation tools in proper manner, definitely you can reduce the time and resources. And one more thing, some tools are open source. You no need to purchase license. Anybody can download and use. Okay. No programming knowledge is required. That is one. Next, any other? Mamata.
Usability.
Not 100% automation is possible.
100% automation is not possible. But 100% manual testing is possible for functional testing, but performance testing impractical. Okay. Recommendable for usability testing. See. Recommendable for usability testing, checking the look and feel aspects. Usability testing recommended for usability testing. Say tools can't judge look and feel aspects. Human user can judge look and feel aspects. See, human user can check user friendliness of the system. Here system means application under test. Human users can judge user friendliness of the system, but tools can't judge. Next, one important thing, no environment limitations. No environment limitations. Environment limitations. First of all, what is environment limitation? Say, test tools have environment limitations. If it is manual testing, irrespective of the application environment, you can apply manual testing methodologies. Irrespective of the application environment, we can apply manual testing methodologies. If it is automation, environment limitations. For example, you take UFT, formerly QTP. I think all of you familiar with QTP. Just Dilpreet, you know UFT?
Yeah, it uses VB scripting.
QTP, formerly QTP. See, if it is UFT, UFT has some limitations. Environment limitations. Environment limitations. What is the environment limitation? See, UFT, formerly QTP. UFT works only on Microsoft Windows operating environment. UFT doesn't support Unix environment. Unix or Unix flavors like Linux, Solaris, etc. Suppose our application under test deployed on Unix, you cannot use UFT. UFT supports Windows only. That is environment limitation. If it is manual testing, you can test on Windows or Macintosh or Unix or Linux, no issue. Irrespective of the application environment, you can apply manual testing methodologies. But tools have limitations. For example, Selenium. Selenium supports only web-based applications automation. Selenium doesn't support desktop applications. That is Selenium limitation. UFT limitation. UFT doesn't support Unix environment, Unix operating environment. Okay, now this point, Ritesh, environment limitations.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Understood.
Next, Madhavi. Anything else, Madhavi?
Yes, sir. Like if there is any dynamic changes in the GUI object, then it's more appropriate to do manual testing.
Yes. Recommendable for dynamically changing UI designs. For example, user interface design, front-end objects changing dynamically. That time automation is difficult. If it is manual testing also you need to rerun. But suppose one one sign-in button name submit button next time. See, manual testing use less changes, but if it is automation, you need to change test script. Say, manual testing is recommendable for dynamically changing UI designs, user interface designs. This is one. Next, one more. Manual testing allows for human user observation, which may be more useful to find potential defects. See, in automation, execution time, user interaction optional, only tool executes. So, less or no interaction, testers have less or no interaction with application. If it is manual testing, more interaction with application. Testers only explore the application. So they may find more potential defects. Say manual testing allows human user observation which may be more useful to find defects, more useful to find potential defects. Suppose any test cases that need to run only one time, that time manual testing is simple. Okay, move to next topic. Advantage of test automation. Advantages of test automation. Or you can say automated testing. Say contribute, Madhavi. Advantages of test automation or automated testing.
It's fast, reusable, and you can use repeatable scripts. And a more comprehensive.
Okay, good.
And it's programmable.
Good. Yeah. See, advantage of test automation or automated testing. Before discussing advantages, just one general topic. Say, you know what is test automation? See, test automation or automated testing is a process of testing computer software or mobile software using any software tool. Test tool. See, this is test automation. Next, we have several tools in the industry. See, we have several tools. We have several test tools available in the IT industry. See, IT industry, software industry. IT industry is superior. Why? IT industry means software and hardware industry. Okay. IT industry. They are. See, I will introduce some important tools. Observe, Madhavi. UFT, Unified Functional Testing, formerly, what is the old name of UFT? Madhavi. QTP. See, Quick Test Professional, Unified Functional Testing. Next, Selenium. Next, Rational Functional Tester. Next, silk test, test complete, test partner, etc. For functional and regression testing. Next, another category, load runner. Next, JMeter. Next, silk performer, QA web load, etc. For performance test automation. Say a performance testing. Some other terms also there. Load testing, stress testing, next spike testing, endurance testing, data volume testing. See, load testing, stress testing, spike testing, all are the subsets of performance testing. Observe, Supriya. What is the difference between performance testing and load testing? Some are saying both are same or both are different, like explanations. Now tell me what is the difference between performance testing and load testing? Load testing is subset of performance testing, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion, ask me. Don't be in dull mood. Any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand.
See, load testing, stress testing, spike testing, all are subsets of performance testing. Okay. Next, ALM. Dilpreet, you know ALM?
In log management?
No, application
QC?
lifecycle management, formerly QC, quality center from HP.
Yeah.
Jira, etc. tools for project life cycle management, or you can say test management. See, test management includes defect management. Defect management is part of test management. Okay, next, Bugzilla, issue tracker, next PR, problem report, PR tracker, etc. For defect management, only defect management. See, if it is test management, defect management includes test management. Say defect management includes test management includes defect management. See, test management is superior. Say test management means not only defect management, requirements management, test design, test execution, next defect management, in addition traceability also. Defect management means only defect management, defect reporting and tracking. See, suppose Bugzilla for only defect management. Suppose ALM, it is for test management. You can manage requirements management, test design, test execution, defect management, etc. Find the difference between defect management, test management and defect management, Madhavi?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference? Test management and defect management.
Defect management, it's only based, only the defects, and test management has all the testing life cycle, like writing test.
Before that, in simple manner, defect management is part of test management, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Defect management is part of test management. See, test management have several activities: requirements management, test design, test execution, defect management. Next, defect management, only defect management, defect reporting and tracking. See, final conclusion, defect management is part of test management. Okay. See, these are the important categories of tools. UFT, Selenium for functional testing, LoadRunner, JMeter for performance testing, ALM for test management, Bugzilla for defect management. Now, come to mainstream. Advantages of test automation, or you can say benefits of test automation. Okay, already somebody told one is fast. I will explain. Next, contribute Mrinal. One is fast. What is fast? I will explain.
It is more reliable and reusable.
Okay. Reliable. Next. See, both are different concepts. Don't mix. Next. Reusable. Next. Okay, I think Ritesh. Continue, Ritesh. Contribute.
Data-driven testing is possible.
What is that concept? Repeatable. Next, Supriya.
Yes, sir. We can say more accuracy.
Accuracy means reliable accuracy. Both are providing same na.
Yes, sir.
Reliable accuracy. I think in this scenario they are synonyms. Okay. Next, I think Madhavi told remaining things. Madhavi, repeat.
Yes, sir. Comprehensive, sir.
Comprehensive.
And programmable. See. Programmable. Next, comprehensive. Completeness. Okay. I'll explain. See, fast, reliable or accuracy. Next, reusable, repeatable, programmable, comprehensive. See, first take fast. What is fast? Tools are faster in test execution than human users. See, tools, test tools. You take any test tool. Tools are faster in test execution. Tools are faster in test execution than human users. See, observe, tools are faster, but only in case of test execution. See, already we discussed in software testing, two important tasks are, one is test design. Another is test execution. One is two important tasks of software testing. If it is manual testing or automated testing.
One is test design, another is test execution. In case of test design, tools are not faster. Why? For test design, human user interaction is mandatory. User only create test scripts using tool features and program features. Say, sometimes automated test design takes more time than manual test case design. Getting this point, Ritesh? Ritesh?
Yes, sir.
In case of test design, we cannot save the time in automation. Why? Test design, human user interaction is mandatory. Tester only generate test scripts using tool features and program features. Sometimes it takes more time than manual testing also. But in case of test execution, tools are faster. Why? Without human user interaction, tool can execute series of tests quickly. Tool is software. Once you provide instructions, we provide instructions in test design. Once you provide instructions, tool can execute instructions quickly. Definitely we can save the time in test execution. But here you can ask one question. Test design, manual testing is easy than test automation. Test execution automation is faster. But how we maintain the more time, how we save the more time? In test execution takes more time. Test design takes more time, but test execution saves time. Balance. No. Test design is one-time activity. Most of the time, test design is one-time activity. Test execution multiple times. Once you design tests, you can execute them multiple times. So definitely we can save the time if we use test automation. Getting this point, Madhavi?
Yes, sir. I have one question. Like if for test design, if manual test cases, there are 100 test cases, how much time it will take to write the 100 manual test cases, and how much time it will take to write 100 automated script?
Nobody can say. Why? Depends on test case scope and complexity of the functionality. But we can say one thing. Automated test case requires more time than manual test case. But we cannot say, some are asking in internet also, how much time manual test case takes, how much time automated test case takes. The meaningless questions. Why?
Right, but somebody
takes a test case design time depends on complexity of the functionality and other steps to execute the test case. Some test cases require small amount of steps. Some test case require large amount of steps to execute. Next, complexity. See, different. See, we cannot say 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 7 minutes require for manual test case or automated test case. Getting this point?
Right.
Depends on application functionality, complexity of the functionality and steps to execute. Okay, but we can say one thing. Automated test case requires more time than manual test case. Why? Automated test case scope is very high. That is one concept. And one more thing, here we have to use, see, in manual testing, just a documentation, theoretical steps. But in automation, we have to use tool features. We need to familiar with tool features. If it is recording or checkpoints, etc. If we use programming features, you need to familiar with programming features. Use conditional statements, loop statements wherever required. Use reusable components, functions or methods. In Java methods, in VB script we use functions. Okay, that we will discuss later. See, in order to use tool features and program features, time required. Getting this point, Mrinal?
Yes.
But you cannot say time. exact time for any test case. Okay. Next, see final conclusion, Madhavi. Tools are fast in test execution than human users. Here, definitely we can save the time. Okay, test design requires more time, but test execution, tools are faster. Anyhow, test design is one-time activity, test execution is multiple times, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Multiple times. Next, reliable. See, already I told, tool is software. Test tool is software. If we provide proper logic, tool can provide correct output every time. Say if it is manual testing, sometimes human user may make mistakes in terms of complex calculations. But if it is automation, if we use, for example, one small example, addition. Suppose addition is one functionality. Input 3, 5. This is first input. Human user can calculate quickly. 3 plus 5, 8. Suppose if expected also 8, then pass. Next, second input. Suppose we are conducting data driven testing. Second input. Say, observe, Madhavi. Second input, some complex. Human user may make mistake, na?
Yes, sir.
See, both are addition only, operation addition only, but first input, simple input, second input, complex input, human user may make mistake. Suppose if it is automation, suppose if we use logic, A plus B, or value 1, you read value 1 to one variable and value to another variable. Suppose some result equal to result 1 variable. Suppose some result equal to value 1 plus value 3. Here it can calculate any data, na, Madhavi?
Yes, sir. You can give any kind of data.
Any kind of integers, numbers, any kind of numbers. Why? Tool is software. If it is human user may make mistakes. That is reliable or accuracy. Okay, na Supriya, reliable. If we provide proper logic, tool can provide correct output every time. If it is manual testing, human user may make mistakes. For example, in terms of complex calculations, human user may make mistakes, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Next, reusable. See, in manual testing, drawbacks of manual testing topic also we discussed this one. Reusable. What is reusable? Tests. See, reusing tests and components. Components means functions, etc. Reusing tests and components on different versions of software. Observe, Ritesh. Sometimes we need to execute same tests on different versions of software, na?
Yes, sir.
Example, what type of tests?
Also like
sanity tests. What is sanity test? Sanity testing. Testing whether the verifying whether the build is acceptable or not by executing basic functionality tests. Verifying whether the build is acceptable or not by executing basic functionality tests. Example, login. See, we need to execute sanity tests on every modified build. every modified build. So reusing. If it is manual testing takes more time. Why? For every time human user interaction is mandatory. If it is automation, once you design sanity tests, tool can execute. If you guide, tool can execute multiple times whenever required quickly. See, definitely you can, just a minute, definitely you can save the time. Sanity tests. Next, regression tests. Just a minute. Sanity tests static, constant, but regression tests dynamic. Depends on complexity of the application and strength of the development team. Okay, na Ritesh, reusable?
Yes, sir. Also, like, so we can use the same test then in the IST environment or UAT environment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We can use same tests on different environments. What is your question?
No, I'm just saying that reusable is so.
Yes, reusable may not only restricted to different versions of software on same operating environment. You can reuse same tests on other operating environment or other browser. Suppose we created 100 Selenium test cases, same test cases execute using Mozilla Firefox browser, using Internet Explorer, using Google Chrome, execute. Tool can execute quickly. If it is automation, suppose if you want to check same tests using multiple browsers, takes time. Suppose for Chrome browser 100 test cases, 10 hours. Example. For IE also nearly 10 hours. Mozilla Firefox also nearly 10 hours. But if it is automation, you can execute tests quickly. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Say, repeatable. Don't confuse. Reusable is different. Repeatable is different. Reusable is different. Repeatable is different. What is the difference? Here on different versions of software or different environments. Here repeatable means same version of the software, same environment, but executing multiple times. Why we need to execute multiple times? I will explain. See, repeatable tests can be repeated. Tests can be repeated with multiple sets of test data. Tests can be repeated with multiple sets of test data without user interaction. If you use test data file or database, tool can execute continuously. Tester. Say, tests can be repeated with multiple sets of test data. For example, what type of tests? Mrinal, what type of tests already I mentioned? Data-driven tests. Data-driven tests. What is data-driven testing? Testing the same functionality using multiple sets of test data. Isn't it, Supriya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is data-driven testing? Testing the same functionality or testing, executing same tests? Say executing same tests using multiple sets of test data. Or you can say testing the same functionality using multiple sets of test data. Okay. First of all, why data-driven testing, Supriya? Why data-driven testing? Suppose for one input, my application is responding fine. I entered username, password, login successful. Then why I need to concentrate on multiple usernames and passwords? Why I need to execute with different user IDs and passwords? Why data-driven testing?
For negative and positive test scenarios.
For positive and negative testing. B sharp, Supriya. Put mute, Supriya. B sharp. Ritesh. For primary purpose of data-driven testing is for positive and negative testing. Okay. Next, secondary purpose.
Reliability.
Yes, checking the reliability of the system. System means application under test. Okay. See, what is data-driven testing? Why data-driven testing? If it is manual testing, for every test iteration means cycle of execution. Suppose one test is there. If you execute the test 10 times, 10 iterations. For every iteration, user interaction is mandatory. In case of manual testing, if it is automation or if it is test automation, human user interaction not required. If you can connect a test data file, tool can execute multiple times quickly, continuously. Okay na, Madhavi? Repeatable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, programmable. Say we can apply programming logic to our automated tests. If it is manual testing, no programming. Manual testing, just documentation and execution. Documenting test cases and execution. No programming. User only execute test cases in manual testing. So no programming. But in test automation, test tools are programmable. Here every tool uses any one programming language. For example, UFT. UFT supports VB script. Selenium. Selenium supports 6 programming languages. Java, C#, Perl, Python, Ruby, etc. What are the 6 programming languages? Java, C#, Perl, Python, PHP, Ruby. You can use any one of the languages. If it is UFT, UFT supports only VB script. See, every test tool, functional test tool supports programming. And one more thing, observe Mrinal. Test management tools won't support any programming, isn't it?
Yes.
Test management tools, defect management tools, they don't support any programming, only documenting and reporting.
Right.
See, they generate reports, but no programming. But test execution tools means functional test tools. Functional test tools supports programming, isn't it?
Yes.
See, our Selenium is functional test tool. It supports programming. See, functional test tools are programmable. We can apply programming logic to enhance our test cases. What is the use of programming? I will explain. Just a minute. Programmable. See, we can use programming features to enhance tests. Say, you can insert multiple verification points. You can, if you want to repeat, you can insert loop statements. If you want to reuse components, you can use functions. If you want to store any output, you can use variables. See, observe Ritesh, we can use programming features to enhance tests, but in manual testing, no programming. Here, what are the important programming features? It is generic. You take any programming language or scripting language, some features are common. For example, variables. You can use variables in our test cases, in our automated tests. Next, operators. If you want to perform any mathematical operations or logical operations or comparison operations, you can, if you want to use any mathematical or comparison or logical operations, you can use operators. Next, conditional statements. Conditional statements. If you want to insert verification points or error handling, you can use conditional statements. If you want to repeat tests, you can use loop statements. If you want to reuse components, you can create user-defined functions. If it is structured programming, we use functions. If it is object-oriented programming like Java, we use methods. Both are common, both are same. Functions, methods. Both are same in purpose. Purpose is reusability. Code reusability. Say in structured programming, example C language, we use functions, built-in functions and user-defined functions. In object-oriented programming, for example Java, we use methods, built-in methods and user-defined methods, etc. Okay, now Madhavi, programmable. What is the advantage of programmable in test automation? Madhavi.
Yes, sir.
Mamata.
We can do multiple verification points at the same time.
Yes, we can insert multiple verification points in a test and we can reuse the code now.
Yes, sir. Reusable components.
Using functions, we can reuse the code. Next, if you want to store any values, you can use variables. If you want to perform any mathematical or comparison or logical operations, you can use operators, etc. Isn't it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Final conclusion, we can use programming features to enhance tests. You can write comments also. Okay. Next, last one, comprehensive. Completeness. What is comprehensive? Say, every test tool, functional and regression test tool, supports batch testing. Batch testing. Just a minute. Every functional test tool supports batch testing. We can create test batches. Tool can execute test batches without user interaction. Say, batch testing means executing series of tests. Executing series of tests. User can create test batches. Tool can execute test batches without user interaction. Tool can execute series of tests quickly, continuously. If it is manual testing, Ritesh, if it is manual testing?
Yes, sir.
For every test execution, user interaction is mandatory, na?
Yes, sir.
User need to explore the system and user need to provide the input, etc. Suppose clicking, submitting forms, etc. If it is manual testing, batch testing is meaningless. Okay, you can execute series of tests, but for every test case execution, user means tester interaction is mandatory. In manual testing, for each test case execution, user interaction is mandatory. If it is automation, tool can execute series of tests without human user interaction. That is comprehensive. Getting this point, Supriya, any confusion?
No, sir.
Dilpreet, shall we move to next topic or any queries, Dilpreet?
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Mrinal?
No.
Okay, cool. See, today we will discuss 3 topics. Tomorrow I will explain remaining topics. Time is less. Okay. Anyhow, I will provide detailed explanation. Concentrate. All of you put mute. All of you put mute. Third topic, disadvantages. Disadvantages of test automation. Disadvantages of test automation are, you can say, automated testing. Automated testing. Disadvantages of test automation are automated testing. Tell me, Ritesh, disadvantages of test automation. Contribute.
Programming knowledge is required.
Yes, programming knowledge is mandatory. Suppose if you don't have programming knowledge, you cannot use test tools in desired manner. See, so that you cannot achieve desired benefits. See, programming knowledge is mandatory. See, if you don't have programming knowledge, you cannot get desired benefits of automation. Next, Madhavi.
It requires a lot of efforts when we want to do the automation testing for any application.
Yes. See, test automation requires a lot of efforts at the initial stage. Why? Already I told, automated test design takes more time than manual test design. So that more time required at initial stage. Once you design tests, then execution simple. See, test automation. Test automation requires lot of efforts at initial stage. So that test automation is not recommendable for short-term projects. Okay. Next, contribute, Supriya.
Yeah, sir, it requires environment.
It requires environment. What is environment? Environment limitations. Okay, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, environment. See, test tools have environment limitations. Application environment limitations. See, if it is manual testing, no environment limitations. Irrespective of the application environment, we can apply manual testing methods. If it is test automation, tools have some limitations. Already I told. For example, if you take EFT supports Microsoft Windows operating environment only. UFT doesn't support Unix environment. For example, Selenium supports web applications testing only. Selenium doesn't support desktop applications. Getting this point, Ritesh? Environment
Yes,
limitations.
sir. Yes, sir.
Next, Mamata.
All type of testing is not possible in
Yes.
automation. For example, usability.
Good. All types of testing. All types of testing is not possible. For example, usability testing. Usability testing. Only human user can judge look and feel aspects. Only human user can verify user friendliness of the system. Tools cannot judge. Next, Supriya. One important one, 100% test automation, particularly functional test automation. 100% test automation is impractical. Generally, we try to automate maximum test cases. Not all test cases. For some test cases, user observation is required. 100% test automation, not practical. Next, Saloni, contribute.
Debugging issues like to locate errors in test script.
Debugging issues. Say, debugging, locating and isolating errors through step-by-step execution. Actually, this debugging term is related to development, not testing. In our test automation, we use programming, so that we need to familiar with this debugging term. Say, locating and isolating errors through step-by-step execution is called debugging. Sometimes more debugging issues. See, in our test scripts, we use programming logic. So we need to rectify errors before execution. See, you can say, what are the debugging issues? Debugging is locating and isolating errors through step-by-step execution. Okay. Then where are the issues? Say, sometimes we cannot locate errors easily. Sometimes we cannot locate errors easily. Suppose, observe Ritesh, 3 points. Suppose our test is showing errors. If test shows errors, definitely you cannot expect correct output. First to correct the errors, then you can execute. Suppose first scenario, test is showing errors. If test shows errors, you cannot get correct output. First correct the errors and execute. Most of the time you can get correct output. No debugging mandatory. Next, second scenario, test is not showing any errors and providing correct output. Test is not showing any errors and providing correct output. No issue. Next, third scenario, typical scenario, observe. Test is not showing any errors and not providing correct output. In this case, debugging is required. Sometimes Debugging is difficult also. Getting this point, Madhavi? When debugging is required,
Yes,
if test is not showing any errors and not providing correct output, getting?
yes, sir.
Suppose if test is providing correct output, then no issues. If test is showing errors, first we correct the errors, then execute. If test is not showing any errors and not providing correct output, then is problem. When this type of situation occurs, suppose at one point of time you have to use x equal to a plus b. Suppose at one point of time we have to use x equal to a plus b. This is the desired formula as per our test requirement. Suppose mistakenly we used x equal to a multiply b. Observe Ritesh, is it syntax error?
Logical error, sir.
Not logical error also. It's not logical error. We used correct logic only. See, irrespective of the operator, if it is addition operator or multiplication operator or division operator, it evaluates. See, programming point of view, it is not either syntax error or runtime error, but our test requirement point of view, it is error. It is human error. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Our test requirement point of view, it is error. But syntax point of view or logic point of view, not error. Here we didn't use any incorrect logic, isn't it?
True, sir.
Same. In order to look at this type of errors, we need to debug tests. Sometimes locating errors also difficult. Debugging issues, one of the drawback of test automation. Next, see, tools may have their own defects. See, test tools may have their own defects. Say, already we discussed. Test tool is software. It may have defects. Suppose if any test tool having some defects in it, we cannot expect desired benefits. We cannot get desired benefits. Getting this point, Mamata?
Yes, sir.
Tool also software. We cannot expect 100% bug-free test tools. Tools may have some defects. Sometimes we may not get desired benefits. Next, not suitable for dynamically changing user interface designs. Not suitable for dynamically changing UI designs, user interface designs. Anything else, Dilpreet? Anything else?
No,
We covered
no,
maximum drawbacks now.
yeah.
Anything else? Identify. Not suitable for dynamically changing UI designs. Test tools may have their own defects. Next, tools have environment limitations, debugging issues, all sorts of testing not possible. Okay, na? We covered maximum drawbacks na, important drawbacks na.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Say, actually in this chapter, overview of test automation chapter, 5 topics. Drawbacks of manual testing, advantages of test automation, disadvantages of test automation. Next, 4th one, types of test tools, and last one, overview of functional testing. Say, today we discussed these 3 topics. Tomorrow we will continue remaining 2 topics and next chapter. Okay. Today I am going to close the session. Any queries? Any queries, Madhavi, regarding these 3 topics? Any queries?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you.
Welcome. Dilpreet.
No, sir, it's all clear.
Mamata.
Sir, yes, sir. I have one question. So what are the main challenges we can face while doing the test automation?
What are the
main challenges while we are doing the test automation?
That we will discuss in Selenium chapters.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Challenges different. That is real-time orientation.
Okay, sir.
That we will discuss later. Challenges in test automation. Okay. Here we discussed you restrict to these 2 topics. Advantages of test automation, disadvantages. Challenges different. Challenges are there. Challenges some related to disadvantages, but not every time. Sometimes challenge is different, drawback is different, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
Okay, that depends on that we will discuss later. Next, Brenal. Any queries? I am going to close the session.
No, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Ritesh.
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Saloni.
I'm good. Thank you.
Welcome. Supriya.
No, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. See, we will meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you. I will send a recorded session and class notes. You try to repeat once again and get more clarity. Okay.